Welcome back again, computer. We out here. Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, I think it's been slightly less long than usual since our last little sesh. Because we've made some discoveries. Some discoveries unrelated to the fascinating Pokemon deep dives that we've been embarking upon. But maybe related to some other stuff. So I guess without further ado, let's dig into it. Let's get in there. Let me find the correct buttons to push. Let's see. Bam. Hello. You might notice something a little different. It's we've made some changes, done a little bit of remodeling. Can you tell what it is? It's something a little subtle, a little secretive, but has some pretty major implications for the future of the LLLL Colonq channel on twitch.tv. Can you tell? What is it? Maybe it's this nifty little gizmo right here. That might not look like much, but allow me to move to another window and type something into the twitch.tv chat box, chat room, chat window. There we go. Look at that. What is this nonsense that we have here? This certainly doesn't look like the old and busted pop-out Twitch chat that I was using in this space before. No. This actually looks like something much niftier. Yeah, I'm thinking we have native chat integration, and more than that, we kind of figured out how to do a whole bunch of stuff. Like, we figured out how to both read and write chat, as well as read and write the Twitch API, the various APIs, both the normal kind of like REST API as well as like the WebSockets event sub API. One moment, gotta get a sip in there. But yeah, I don't know. That's basically the situation. I'm thinking one moment. What do we got going on here? Being bombarded by the forces of evil in the physical plane. To retreat to the ethereal plane in order to dodge their attacks. Looks like we got a nice little spam. Got some spam going on. I'm thinking we got a spam situation. Being attacked in both the physical and the astral plane. The ethereal plane really is our only hope at this point. We got to send our boy. Fortunately, we need a sacrifice in order to hop over there. We're gonna have to send our boy Academic Gulch, who's just made an appearance right into the Shadow Realm. How do I get the buttons? Show me the buttons. There we go. We gotta clear this thing because I don't have the. We're gonna use some Emacs commands, a little bit of magic to erase the buffer. Okay, we're good now. We've survived successfully. Mission failed successfully. Cool. So yeah, that's what we got. So I'm thinking today I'm gonna talk a little bit about how this setup works. We're gonna, of course, dig into a little bit of Emacs Lisp code, do some coding, and then maybe we'll build some stuff on top of this. I'm sort of thinking, I don't quite know yet. We could maybe build some stuff on top of, it might be a bit of a longer project that we could, I don't know, I'm streaming earlier today, so we could go a little late maybe. But I want to build some integration of my model. Like, my model's not too fancy right now, I guess. Like, it does the job, but we don't really have an easy way to like configure settings and all that jazz. And I want to do some bits, some model based bits, and I don't think we're quite there yet. So we'll be doing some development on that front. Like, for example, I want to be able to change things in response to chats, for example, and all that jazz. But we'll get there. So I guess without further ado, let's talk a little bit about this thing. Like, what have we done? What has been done? What remains to be done? Because of course I want to save as much as possible to do together with you on stream computer. I think we don't want to be going off on little side quests and kind of stealing all the EXP before the computer can level. We don't want to be stealing the computer's last hits in lane. We really want to just be sharing and providing the computer with everything it needs in order to get the necessary business going on. So yeah, the big concern I had for developing this any kind of Twitch integration on stream was like, how the fuck am I going to do that without leaking my like API token, right? If you're not in the know, right? Twitch uses, I think it's OAuth, or it's close enough to OAuth, right? Basically you have to authenticate, like as the logged in Twitch user, like the account that's going to be taking action. You get a token, and that token is basically your representation of your authentication, right? Like having that token says, hey, I am the person who is allowed to, sorry, sippies, allowed to take actions, right? So if you create a token with the I don't know, mod actions permissions, right? You can suddenly start banning people left and right. You're firing off, you're going nuts. So you don't want those tokens to leak, because it's basically like it's like, I guess it's slightly less bad than leaking your password, but it's basically as bad as leaking your password, right? You're giving someone a whole lot of capabilities. And it seems hard to avoid inadvertently spilling that over on stream, right? Like gonna run into some issues on that front pretty quickly. Just in terms of like, well, I mean, even if I like fetch the token already and put it in a file, it's easy to like open the file accidentally, and then what if the token, like I do something to invalidate it, and maybe I need another. It's a whole fucking mess, right? Like, and it's a kind of a pain in the ass. So what do we do? So the thing I've been thinking about, and the thing that has been done, is a little cool. So we have what I've done is I'm running this event bus server on a server in my domain. My domain spelled like Desments, right? Ever see that? Like, is that how it's pronounced? Thank you for the follow, Hakurai HD. Welcome. I'll do the bit this time. I'm sorry if you didn't want me to read your name, but unfortunately, it's got to happen. Those are the rules. Is this how it works? Hello, computer man. I'm writing over your text, dude. How cool. Welcome. I am the computer man. Beep boop bop. Today we're gonna maybe develop some Twitch stuff. We have this nifty little chat display up here, showing your name as white, because sometimes Twitch likes to, I think if you change your name to a color, it'll show that color, but it won't show if you're like the default color that just gets assigned randomly. I don't know. We can maybe explore that together today. But yeah, so the way this all works is we have this event bus running on a server, and then on another machine in my domain, in my Desments, I have a little program that connects to the Twitch chat API. Well, it really just connects to Twitch chat, right? Twitch chat is IRC. It doesn't connect to like real IRC. It connects to IRC over WebSockets, but like it's basically IRC. It connects to Twitch chat, and also connects to this pub sub message bus server, and parses incoming chat messages and fires them off as events on this pub sub thing. The pub sub thing is basically like any other pub sub, right? In the sense that you can subscribe to events and then publish to events, right? But I wrote it, it's like a custom thing, and you could use like Redis or something for this, probably. I don't know. There's probably good solutions, but we decided to, I had built this for something previously and it was easy enough to use. And then on this machine, we just connect to that server, and from there we can just subscribe to the relevant event and just read messages like crazy. So let's actually see what that looks like. I'm gonna spam my own chat a whole bunch in order to have events to look at. So if we connect to this here, is this the thing? I think we can then tell, we can say subscribe to monitor Twitch chat incoming. And if we do that, if I type I am a test message over here, you can now see that since we're subscribed to that event, we receive the incoming event. The event we're subscribed to is monitor Twitch chat incoming. That's the event that's come in. And the data is the rest of this S expression here, right? We received the data saying, okay, the sender is yours truly, LLLL Colonq, with this beautiful gray text color that I've chosen for myself. And then this string, I am a test message, the message that we sent. So, of course, right, this is just, the protocol here is, it's UTF-8 text over TCP, and then you just send S expressions. I think it is just reading S expressions. Like, there's no notion, you don't have to be like new line separated. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. I don't know. Probably they do. That seems like a sane thing, right? Like, new line separated UTF-8 S expressions, question mark. That's something. I don't know. So we can just do it with netcat if we want to, but we don't have to just do it with netcat, right? This is a pretty sorry excuse for a chat display. So what we did, let's find this thing. We wrote a little library that connects to this bus using Emacs is actually really irritating for this. It's surprisingly annoying to just well, I guess it's not that annoying. You can do it relatively easily, but just like it's just awkward. You have to think about it in an awkward way in order to get a TCP client that you can connect to some server and just read things line by line. But we built that, right? I've probably built this 1,000 times, so I just copied and pasted this from somewhere. But I mean, this is much the same code. Note that we will end up using in the Pokemon emulator project, although we're going to be reading JSON instead of S expressions. Fun little bit of foreshadowing there. I think that code actually already exists in one of these, in Smaragdus net.el. Yeah, it's much the same code, except we're doing a JSON parse string here instead of an S expression read. But yeah, that's the thing. Just the thing, in fact. And so, right now, when we get a message in, all we're doing, we're not even checking what type the message is, right? Because we're like, I don't know, right now, for now, I think I subscribed manually. Yeah, so before the stream started, I did the connect to connect to the server, and then like manually subscribed to the monitor Twitch chat incoming event. And right now, when we receive any event, we just assume that it's a monitor Twitch chat incoming and pass it to fig write chat message, which just like extracts the color if it's there and the username, and then prints it to this buffer, right? So we're pretty bare bones. I think actually, like if we send a bunch of messages, right? Like if I go over here and I say foo bar baz blah, right? It's going to scroll off the screen, right? The point is going to get lost a little bit. So I think we make one change really quick. Whenever we write a chat message, after we do this little bit, well, we should be go to charring point max already. Does go to char not actually move point? It does. Well, maybe we're we're encountering some problems. I know I don't actually understand, like, there's probably more that I can do to understand the notion of point here, right? So point in Emacs is Emacs speak, because Emacs uses weird words for everything because it's so old, for the position of the cursor, right? The thing is, right, like the cursor can have, if I split this into two windows, right, there can be a different cursor position in both window, right? And we're doing this is just like buffer specific, not window specific. So there has to be some notion of like the window position. Lisp scroll buffer in window. We're gonna do some Googling. I'm gonna Google a little bit. Google AR. How do I make a buffer automatically scroll to its end? It looks like Emacs Stack Exchange. Okay. Set make local variable window point insertion type T. That seems like the kind of thing that we want. And we're going to be lazy. So instead of doing that, we probably should make, this is just in fundamental mode right now. Maybe we'll make a mode for this, right? Like, that seems like the right thing. We gotta find out, how the hell do we make a major mode again? This is, Emacs Lisp. We gotta clean up a little bit here. Let's make a new workspace, and over here we search Emacs Lisp major mode. Okay. Yeah, we can probably use this thing. I think I've used this thing in the past. That seems like the correct thing. And of course, I'm not doing the right thing here, right? I talk big game about how I live in Emacs, and I'm Googling Emacs info pages when I could read them inline, right? I know, right? I could say info here, something like that. I could say info. I could open up the Emacs info pages. Probably. It's a thing I could do. Maybe we will do that. We'll be petulant. We're gonna have to deal with a worse UI and key bindings that I don't know. Where does this even live? This is in the Emacs Lisp reference manual. eLisp. Modes. Defining major and minor modes. You know, we're gonna read all of this because I think it's gonna boost our understanding a little bit. I think if we just go into this willy-nilly, start throwing stuff at the wall, we're gonna quickly end up in a position of great difficulty. I'm running over cables. Jesus, it's a problem. I'm causing problems for my place of residence. Okay, let's start talking. So, chapter 24: Major and minor modes. A mode is a set of definitions that customize Emacs behavior in useful ways. There are two varieties of modes: minor modes, which provide features that users can turn on and off while editing, and major modes, which are used for editing or interacting with a particular kind of text. Sure. Each buffer has exactly one major mode at a time, and of course, can have as many minor modes as your heart desires. This chapter describes how to write both major and minor modes, how to indicate them in the mode line, and how they run hooks supplied by the user. We're going to skip the hooks section because I think we understand hooks. Let's go to major modes. Major modes specialize Emacs for editing or interacting with particular kinds of text. Sure. Each buffer has exactly one major mode at a time. Sure. Every major mode is associated with a major mode command whose name should end in -mode. Yeah. This command takes care of switching to that mode in the current buffer by setting various buffer local variables, such as a local key map. See major mode conventions. Note that unlike minor modes, there is no way to turn off a major mode. Instead, the buffer must be switched to a different one. However, you can temporarily suspend a major mode and later restore the suspended mode. See below. That sounds fucked. It's a little goofy. Okay. Here's things we don't care about very much. The easiest way, okay, so we're getting back to where we were before. This little excursion, the info pages, has borne fruit. The The recommended way to define a new major mode is to derive it from an existing one using define derived mode. If there is no closely related mode, you should inherit from either text mode, special mode, or prog mode. Special mode, I think we're doing some special stuff tonight, so I'm thinking special mode is looking promising. I think that might do the trick, but we'll see. Okay. Macro, define derived mode. It takes variant, which is the name of the new mode, parent, which is the parent mode, there's unquoted symbols. Name is the string form of the mode name. Docstring is the docstring, and then keyword args and body. Sure. The new command variant is defined to call the function parent, then overrides certain aspects of that parent mode. The new mode has its own sparse key map that inherits from the parent key map. Sure. Unless it's already set. Sure. The new mode has its own syntax table, kept in the variable variant syntax table, unless you override this using the syntax table keyword. Sure. I think that's for like font, that's for like syntax highlighting stuff, I think. Font locking, as you'd call it in Emacs. And then the new mode has its own abbrev table, kept in the variable variant abbrev table. I'm sure that's something exciting, but we are not going to worry about it. And then its own hook. Sure. In addition, you can specify how to override other aspects. So this is just, you can just basically inherit the behavior and then just do whatever you want in the body. So it just runs the body after everything else. That's kind of cool. That seems like what we want. Okay. Oi. These things are so easy to forget. So easy to lose track of. And we got all this stuff. At the custom, you can give it the customization group. You can you can run the body after the main stuff, but then you could run after hook after the body, and you can do it even more. You can do additional things. It's that's wild. We got all kinds of shit here. Okay, back to over here. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna say define derived mode. What's this gonna be called? Fig chat. Well, we use this prefix, right? We're cool like that. Use the slash so that we can disambiguate from I don't know. It's nice to I like to use the slash to disambiguate like the namespace, because like you're also using dashes as like part of like the normal variable naming convention. So I don't know, right? I want to be able to name my modes common words that could potentially have some other meaning that could be used in other commands. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. Okay, what is we didn't ever learn what special mode was, so we're gonna look that up right now. Special mode. A special major mode is intended to view specially formatted data rather than files. These modes usually use read-only buffers. Well, that like seems like what we want. Sure. I mean, we're gonna have to, yeah. Okay, we're inheriting from special mode. I wish we had an example of the use of this thing. We can probably dig one up somewhere. What's likely to use this? Maybe, we can go into what is a thing? What exists out there in the great wide world? Do we have maggot? Maggot. I don't have maggot something. Where's a major mode? Log mode. That seems promising. Okay, yeah, this is how it is. So this is just the string. This little string here is the string that's going to display like where this says fundamental. So we're gonna instead say Twitch chat. Wow. How cool. We're gonna do all kinds of shit here. Okay. Major mode for displaying Twitch chat. Good. And the group, we already have a customization group here, right? This fig group. I think. And do we care about anything else? Well, the thing that we care about is the thing that we were just supposed to do, that fucking set queue thing we have to set locally in order to, where is that? Stack, yeah, this guy. I think, do we just have, is this already buffer local? We'll do a set queue local on it. If we just do set queue local, is that the same thing? Is that make local variable stuff? Yeah, make each variable buffer local. And then is this just a macro, right? Does this do what we think it does? Well, I see it expanding to make local variable. So that seems promising. I think we're gonna do that. And this, what did you set it to? Just true? What is the documentation of this? Insertion marker, insertion type of marker to use for window point. See marker insertion type for the meaning of the possible values. Okay. Return insertion type of, okay. We've learned something, right? We're having a brain blast here. I think this the funny red square, right, that I was describing as the point is not actually the point. I think it is a window specific marker that is used to, this is like a per window thing, and then when you select the window, maybe the point moves to that marker. That's cool. Maybe that's something we've discovered. We're knocking them back. I love how you can see my avatar just like lean back as I chug water. That's kind of funny little guy. Okay, so we've solved one particular puzzle. What else we got? What's going on? So yeah, we want to now, okay, let's define that. We have chat mode now, and we want to make sure that the fig chat buffer is in chat mode. Is there a way to, if we say get buffer create, be nice if we had a good way to like, we could always just drop, like, always change to fig mode, to fig chat mode here. If we do that, does this toggle? It probably only toggles if you call it interactively, right? I'm convinced of that. Let's try. If we send a message now, oh, this is not even the right place. This is write log, and this is to write a log to the log buffer. We're getting all confused. Okay, if we move it down here, let's just make sure we're set. I would expect this thing that says fundamental here to change to say Twitch chat when we send a message in Twitch chat. Say sent an A. Okay, now we have, oh, this must set read only on the buffer. It did change to Twitch chat. It didn't add our message because the buffer is read only, probably because we're inheriting from special mode. Thinking we're getting a little special. So what do we do about that? I'm a little stumped. Let's see. What the fuck do we do about that? We just need to inhibit the read only. Elisp insert read only. Yeah, this seems like what we want. Yeah, you can just, I was searching for the exact correct phrase, inhibit read only, because I've done this before, but I have forgotten the magic spell. Necessary magic spell. I mean, this is all just dynamic binding, right? Can we just chuck this here? Inhibit read only. Yes. Do it. Now if we type over here a B, there we go. Okay, let's type a bunch. Let's make the text big so we get to type less. And then C. Why does it get small? Why does it become small? I'm a little confused by that. D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Okay, we're not scrolling automatically and the text is becoming small. So I'm thinking we have a problem. I'm thinking there's probably some horse shit going on with and I'm inclined to blame our friend special mode. We need to do a little bit more reading onto what special mode is all about. We're probably gonna have to go into the... What is special mode? It inherits from nothing. Oh, all it does is set buffer read only T. Okay. Well, we have something strange happening then. Very strange. And the chat for this this thing is gonna be so fucked, but it doesn't matter too much. We're just having a nice time. It's not our problem. That's a problem for other people. This has mode class special. What is mode class? What the fuck is mode class? What is going on? We're encountering some strange stuff here. Okay. So what is the deal? If we don't do this, if we say goodbye to the window point insertion type, well, marker insertion type. Is it actually set in this buffer? If we say window point insertion type, it's a variable. Okay, it is T. It's local in FigChat. Global value is nil. Insertion type of marker to use for window point. Oh, this is also a generalized variable, right? So we could probably just set this to point max as well, right? Oh, but that's gross, right? We just have to we have to look at all the windows and see, like, that's yucky. It's a yucky situation. We'd much prefer just set a variable. I guess we check again, like, what? Yeah, T mean if it stays after inserted text. Yeah, that makes sense. Sure. And then here, maybe this goToChar point max is fucking us. I can anticipate that fucking us a little bit. I think maybe that's the case. Let's just deal. Let's try that. What if we say then, let's send an emote. We gotta get it's emote time. Let's send a kappa. Okay. Does not appear to be moving the window point. This appears to be a bit of a problem. What is actually going on here? I'm becoming a little bit confused because the thing says that it should do the thing, but it's doing not that thing. Insertion type of marker to use for window point. Return insertion type of T if it stays after inserted text. Okay, let's read that Stack Overflow post. Oh, it needs evil insert mode. We go into insert mode and then like if we do that, move over here, and then we send an emote. Okay, we keep sending emotes. Does that work? Test, test, test. Let's see. Okay, that works, but that's a little fucked up. Let's try our technique instead. I'm thinking our technique is maybe the. Well, we don't know though, because we need the whole. Well, I guess what do we do? What do we do here? Boy, because it's obnoxious. Like, of course, the thing we could do is just manually find windows that contain this buffer and set f their window point to point max every time we insert a chat message, right? That's a thing. I don't know if it's a good thing. And it makes it kind of irritating to get back to like scroll back in the chat, right? The behavior I'd want is like, it doesn't scroll automatically if I'm up here, but if I'm here, if the cursor is here at the bottom, then things work the way I want. Like if this isn't in insert mode, right, and we chat, it works. Why does it work? It didn't seem to work before. Blah 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 blah. Why is it working? This is maybe I'm not being super exhaustive in my testing. I don't know, man. Something strange is afoot, I would say. There's some real strangeness in the air, and not really sure what to do about it. Let's send 2 more so we can see if it scrolls off the screen. Oh, it does. Very good. So it seems at least that we've arrived at the correct behavior. I don't know. Maybe I didn't eval this after something, right? After I removed the goto char. That seems likely. That seems like the kind of thing that I would do. So maybe that's it. I don't know. I don't know. Well, I guess for now we'll be happy with that and continue on. So we have this business. This should be read only now too. Well, I'm pressing backspace and it's using these godforsaken key bindings from special mode. That seems like horse shit. We're gonna instead say define key map. Is that a thing we can do? We can define a key map, right? Where the fuck is special mode? You were in simple.el, right? You have a key map? Yeah, you do. Def var key map. That's what we want to do. We're going to say fig chat mode map. And it's going to be fucking empty. What does suppress T mean? What does that mean? Show me. Tell me, computer. If non-nil, the key map will be suppressed. See suppress key map. All normally self-inserting keys are undefined. Yeah, that seems like what we want. And then it defines nothing else. Okay. Now if we press keys here, we can still use the evil mode keys, but all other keys do not work. Okay, yeah, and the buffer is read-only. We cannot delete lines. Backspace is still doing some godforsaken fucked up thing. Why are these all bound to digit? Oh, this is probably like prefix stuff. Oh, we probably need to say, let's toggle the mode. Chat mode. Or just turn it on again? I don't know. Let's just kill the chat buffer. Wait, did that? What? Yeah, it didn't actually kill it. We instead we ended up over here because I forgot that the fucking default behavior is to bury the buffer when you press Q, probably. That's atrocious. Fig, oh, it's gone either way. We've eliminated it successfully. Okay, let's send another thing to resummon it. What emote do we send this time? I'm gonna send something fancy. Something cool. Cool kid emote. Send that. Okay. Do we have the chat buffer again? Yeah, we do. Now we can't press backspace to do weird fucked up shit. Can't press Q to quit the buffer. We've arrived, I think. I think we've gotten there. We've solved that puzzle. Does it still shrink if I make this embiggened? And then I send a message. Do we end up with something absolutely fucking atrocious? Yeah, we do. Why would that be the case? What is our speculation for why that is the case? Why does the font size of the buffer? Well, is that a buffer specific? I don't think that's a window specific property, not a buffer property, right? Like if we split this and display the same buffer in both. No, it's not. It's a buffer thing. It gets bigger in both windows when we shrink or enlarge. So it's kind of fucked. I'm gonna clear the chat because any friends who come in are gonna think this looks psychotic. Okay, that's better. Alrighty. Okay, so let's think why this is happening. Why the fuck is the text size reset when we insert a new line? I'm a little confused by this this behavior. Not really feeling it. Not vibing with that. So what's up? What are we actually doing? Like, if we just make this big, and then we just, like if what is my, okay, there it is. Shift Alt colon for some reason. Insert test. Oh, we have to do the inhibit. We can do that. We'll be brave. We're gonna be willing to type a few letters. Oh, we got the fucking god awful. Well, we're gonna confuse ourselves. We need to find out how to turn that off. Certainly, we're gonna inhibit read only T, and we're gonna insert test. Okay, it inserts test and it doesn't shrink the fucking text. So, what is the problem? I'm a little confused as to what is. Oh, maybe it's calling Fig chat mode. That would be an obvious thing. Yeah, it's calling the mode. All right, why is that the case? How do we actually how are we actually increasing our font size in the first place? What is our binding for that actually doing? It gets in here. Somewhere in this zone. No, is it? Ay ay ay. Ay ay ay. What is the deal with that? Okay. Is it here? Is it on one of these? Please? Yes. Text scale increase. Welcome Tally Chovy and Bastard Kitties. We had a raid. We're getting a raid from Runoxy. Thank you so much for the raid. the whole virus gang over here to I don't know if I'm a virus, more of a an entity. This is where we do entity kind of stuff over here with the computer. We're fucking about with all kinds of stuff, trying to write this very Twitch chat. You can see that Tally's message is being interrupted by this test here. We're trying to build this out. And right now, when we make it big like this, you see you're big now. It's small on the next message, and we're like, why does it get small? Why does it become small? So that's the question, and maybe we'll find an answer. But thanks for the raid, and thanks for coming by. Can I paste myself into the notepad? Well, I kind of am in the notepad, right? Like, it's kind of hard to copy. Like, what this actually is, right, is just scrolling really fast. So like, if I like, how can I do this? I don't know. I feel like if I just if I click, does that, can I then paste myself easily? No. We're gonna have to find this out. Maybe, you know what? Let's go on a mission to do that right now. I think we need a side quest. Let's do that. Let's kill that. Let's go over to, where are we going? We're going to my source code. Going to my source code. Let's do something. We're already running this. If we go to here, let's make it so it just prints my text once. And then we can, it's not going to be very useful to copy and paste actually, because for reasons you will see shortly. Let's see. What are we doing here? What direction are we going in? Where do we print the thing? Oh, it's here. So like, if we, after we print ourselves once, we just like return. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get there. But you might notice that the text behind me is just different colors of the same text, right? So it's just gonna look like a solid blob. And the secret actually is the background text. Is this gonna work? I hope this works. What is this render loop thing? Where is that called? Oh, there. Okay. Let's actually see if this works. Can we get a copy? Will we find a copy successfully? Okay, so we have that return. And then if we, yeah, you wouldn't download a VTuber. Let's disappear for a second. And then maybe let's do this. Is that the thing that we do? Yeah. We won't have face tracking, but we can just like render like the default. Like, I'm actually, you might notice, well, we'll explore it a little bit. You might think I have very wide shoulders, but I'm actually just constantly T-posing. That's the lore. We can do a little bit with that too. We can have some fun. Take a break for a little bit of fun instead of the endless grind. What are we bitching about now? In this little thing. Linker not found. That seems hellish. Can we ask very nicely? Please. Read write compatible VTuber. Yes. Well, we'll get there. I want to make myself a little more like, again, right now it's currently just like printing the same text, just with different colors. We're gonna get a little more definition soon. We're going high def, LLL Colonq high def mode. And do some like edge detection to like actually like draw lines around, there we go. Yeah, so there's the big L Colonq, right? Rendering in full glorious resolution, right? And then we've been printed out. Let's ensmallen it. Here, right? Just once. I'm kind of stretched because the font is like a different aspect ratio. But if we actually copy this, right, you'll notice that the background text is also just saying that same text, except just the foreground and background colors are the same. So if I paste this, it's just going to look like, because like it won't paste the colors. It's just going to look like a solid square of just saying my name over and over again, which is I don't know, man, not ideal. So we gotta fix that. That's maybe the next mission. A future lab sesh is gonna have us doing some stuff to fix that, right? Because we could, like, in like an ideal world, right? We might, like, I don't know, what would we do? Well, first and foremost, we would not print this in the background, like just the things with the same color, and then we'd also maybe do some like outlining, right? So like this would be like bam, 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 like that kind of thing, and that which would move with my model. So I don't know. Hey, what's wrong with my emoji pack? I gotta scroll this now because it's still fucked up. We're trying to fix that. That's one of the things we're trying to fix. I don't think I actually have any like non-default emojis because I'm not we're not yet affiliated. We're not brand affiliated. Let's reload that. Let's go back to Wednesday Decay Nightcore gaming mode. And where buttons, yes. We gotta tell this not to return again. And we need to relaunch. Bam. And tell it to run the face tracker and to do all of the shenanigans to make it work. Let's see. Let us see. There we go. We're in big mode. You can see me in big mode. Hello. That's how it all works. And in low res mode in the bottom. Very fun. Then it turns into this. Neat. We got there. But yeah, that was a exciting little diversion. But back to figuring out why the fuck this chat is so broken for no reason. I'm a little confused. If we make this, instead of inheriting from special mode, we make it inherit from fundamental mode. Let's try that. If we embiggen, can we then still become small? So we're gonna go back to special mode. Let's try that out. We're gonna go to Google, a good friend Google. Emacs Lisp, changing mode resets font size. Sure. Oh. Well, maybe the face is being set? No, oh, you know what it probably is? We're resetting the minor modes. That's something. Maybe let's try printing out the thing. Like if we make this a little bit bigger and we look for the variable text scale mode amount, it's 2. The global value is 0 because we scaled up 2 increments. And then like what if we just like print text scale mode amount? Yeah. And some rats. Some rat gaming. This is gonna bitch, but it's bitching for unwarranted reasons. Let's go back to messages. Okay, let's embiggen again. Then we call this. I go, yeah, so just resetting earlier than that. It actually doesn't matter, right? Because the real solution to this is not to do all this fucking shit to avoid resetting this. It's going to be awkward. The real solution is going to be, yeah, text Chovy. You're appearing. You might note, yeah, the Unicode emotes, right? Those still show up. We still got those. We still got it. But actual Twitch emotes, we could probably, like, we can display images in these things, so we could probably do something like that, I guess. But it'd be tricky. I think it would be, or it'd be slow at least. I don't know how worth that is just yet, but maybe. Because we have to like, we also have to like, I don't know. We can't like prefetch all of them, so we'd have to like fetch the ones that get used and then cache them, and then like it's a whole like management problem that like I don't know if I want to deal with. So we won't. That is the philosophy of the LLLL Colonq channel. Why do today what you could put off for forever? What are we doing? Yeah, so the thing we want to avoid is just calling this here. And the way we're going to avoid that is by saying, okay, chat buffer. Do we have we already have a variable that is Twitch chat buffer. Well, let's just say get Twitch chat buffer, right? Return the Twitch chat buffer. And we'll say if or well, let's do it like this. What are we gonna do here? Unless get buffer that, then we will. So if this buffer does not already exist, right? Then we will make it, go to it, and call fig chat mode. And then regardless of what happens, we're going to get the buffer, right? Which should always now return the thing. That's maybe an awkward way to word that, but I think, I don't know, kind of nice. So now let's press the buttons. Let's press an emote. What emote do we press this time? We gotta make it bigger first. Can't forget that. Embiggen. Press an emote. What are we doing? Okay, and now it no longer shrinks. So we've solved that particular puzzle. I think huzzah. Huzzah, huzzah. Cool. What else do we have to do? I think we have quite a few options because this thing can actually send chats too. The sending chat part, I'm gonna have to probably wire some stuff up off screen, but we can probably do that. We can put like a Subway Surfer video on or something, or like sand cutting, soap cutting, one of those things, and then just do it while talking incessantly. I think we could survive that. Our hazardous material handling protocol, our off-screen material handling protocols can probably survive contact with that particular substance. All right, let's see. What do we actually want to do? Let's maybe write like a we could set up like a little bot thing, right? That okay. Let's first and foremost let's prove that we can interact with messages from here. Let's see. Where's our handle message? Yeah, so right now we're just doing this. We have, okay, we're doing the right chat message thing here. We could say when s contains, what's a thing that we can react to easily? What's a fun emote? I don't even know. I don't know all this Twitch stuff. When s contains what does this take? It takes needle and then the haystack. S contains resident sleeper text message ZZZ. So we could do some detection. We can we're gonna build something on top of this, right? So if I do that, and then I say, if I go to here and I do a resident sleeper, we get a ZZZ over here, right? We're responding to chat messages within our little ecosystem here. We react to things, which means I don't know what we want to do. We have limited options, right? Like people are resident sleepering, right? We want to boost the engagement a little bit. I don't know. Can we do something like that? Do we have options? I don't know. It's maybe we want to, let's do a sound alert. I think I have like I like saved a bunch of like shitty sound clips. I need to actually put in headphones so I can hear them, and also like crank the desktop audio a little bit to make sure I can actually hear them. So let's see. This might be explosive, but we'll see where we get. I'm gonna turn it like half volume. What do we have? Do we have QMS? Yeah. If I press A, Among Us. Yeah, so that screams Among Us really loud. Is that a worthy response to a resident sleeper situation? I'm unsure. What are we actually? Where is the soundboard code? I wrote that before I started. Like, can we just play like? Okay, let's go to a repo. If we just do like this is the benefit of having everything in like this like consistent interface, right? Because we can just like do whatever the fuck we want. We can just wire things together super easily. If I just say, what's another one that we have? If I say Mr. Beast, does that do anything? Maybe that doesn't exist. If I say QMS, let's do Among Us. We know that one works. Is it Among Us or Among Us? Among Us. Oh, it's amogus.mp3. We gotta give it the MP3. Let's do Mr. Beast then. Does that work? Something is afoot. I'm thinking something's afoot, man. Okay, that one works. We just maybe that one's just like super loud, and the other one is like getting caught by something. Is that like ear destroyingly loud? Let me tune in. Let's tune in. It's going one more time. It's gonna happen. Prepare yourselves. Gird your loins. Among Us. Let's see. It is an attention getter, right? You won't be resident sleepering after you get Among Us. Okay, let's wire that up. So instead of saying message ZZZ, maybe let's turn it down a little tiny bit too. I think it's a little disruptive to the general serenity of the LLLL Colonq stream. Let's crank it. And now let's wire it up. Let's what am I even running on? So this is the glorious system. We can show the stats. I think there's a little thing in my my description. You don't understand anything, your head empty. Well, maybe you'll understand this. Let's does it work now? Did I do the thing? Let's see. Where is it? I'm on the wrong keyboard. Is it Windows 10 or yeah, this is actually Windows 13. They the user experience has degraded significantly. Did that work? Did it work? We gotta go back to messages. I'm getting confused and afraid. Did I turn the volume down too much and it no longer works? Coming in again. Yeah, it's like there's like a threshold or something that's like not being like I'm gonna crank this back up a little bit. I'm sorry. I apologize. It's gotta happen. Maybe it's just running really inconsistently. Among Us! Okay, that one worked, but they don't all work. We need to fix this. We found another side quest here, guys. This is we're discovering things by the minute, and I think we're gonna have to figure it out. Yeah, I'm receiving word that the volume is a little so we're gonna reduce the volume, because I think the volume is not the problem. Like, let's see, maybe our soundboard is just inconsistent. I think I just have all these in a folder somewhere. We go to soundboard. Where is this defined? SRC soundboard clips. Let's go over here. SRC soundboard clips. We have a bunch of clips here. If we just like say like MPV, let's do a better one. We need to get something that's a little less like horrid. Does this work? So MPV is seg faulting. That's I'm thinking that's a little curious. That seems like it's maybe not the ideal situation for MPV to be in. So welcome. I thought you were I saw the barrel emote and I was like, wow, is it barrel posting? It's Tally. You're welcome too, Tally. We love everybody here at the LLLL Colonq channel. We accept all kinds. XD DDDD. But why is this happening? Yeah, so this is I think we've discovered a little bit of bug in like, because MPV is like occasionally seg faulting. Why is that? What is going on with that? I'm a little confused by this reality. But seems to be working now, right? Like, no, it's still, what the fuck? Why? Okay, we somehow ended like, I thought this was gonna be like something easy to solve. Like, oh yeah, we're like not waiting for the process long enough to play the audio. Not something that's like some horrendous, demented nightmare situation like the media player I've used for a decade decides to seg fault. Maybe it's because OBS is running, or like there's some fucked up situation there. I don't know. This is certainly problematic. If we search things along those lines, MPV segfault pipewire. I think pipewire is like the new nifty thing. Segfault if pipewire not available. November 2022. That looks like the thing. Thoughts? Seriously? Yes, I agree. SFan5 from Germany. I agree. Yikes. They went to the trouble of GDBing it. Sure. If I don't have the Pipewire user service running on my system, I don't get this. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Has this been fixed? Upgrading Pipewire. I see it was upgraded in Nix packages. Your head empty, you don't get it either. Basically, the thing that makes the audio go is broken, and it doesn't seem to be our fault. Surprisingly enough, it's usually our fault, right? It's usually when things go wrong on this stream, it's usually either past LLLL Colonq's or future LLLL Colonq's fault. Where are the audio trying to go though? The audio is trying to go to your waiting ears, right? The thing that we're trying to set up is when someone says, like, we're trying to prove that we can react to things in the chat, right? Maybe it's busy. It's possible, but it should, like, I've tested this before, like you should be able to play like multiple multiple. How does Pipewire even work? I worry if I like try and like fuck with the sound, it's gonna like kill my audio. And I don't want that. I would prefer my audio to be alive and not all dead. But maybe we'll just deal with it being inconsistent. Like, how inconsistent is this? Like, seemingly fairly. Can you manually specify the audio out? We're going on a real tangent today. Is there an AO? Audio device. Well, that forces the AO audio output drivers. What a... Is this a link we can click on? No. Output drivers. Okay, here's the section. Okay, we can do MPV AO equals help, please. Okay, we can say pulse or ALSA. We say AO equals ALSA. Is that gonna... Okay, this might explode things, so we gotta be prepared for explosions. I'm gonna talk to catch up to the stream delay so that if it does explode, it doesn't like... Well, I don't know. We'll see. Let's try it. Okay, that seems to work, and it doesn't give us the error about Pipewire. So, what's something inoffensive that we can play rather than this this UGG sound clip? I don't even know. Some of these are like long. I don't want to play like the super idle song. The Discord leave sound. That'll be fun. Yeah, this doesn't seem to be crashing if we specify AO equals ALSA. And is that audible on stream? Oh, I just fucked everything up, ever. I see it appearing. I think it is. Good. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so now we can go back and fix everything. We can fix everything. We can say AO equals ALSA over here. Very good. And now if we play clip, we play the clip. There, that works. I don't think we actually want that one. I think so. I mean, we're responding to resonant sleepers, right? We need something to entertain the youth, right? The trendy Twitch.television youth who need soap cutting videos, etc. So I mean, what is appealing to that clientele but Mr. Beast? Can we do this now? Does it work? Yes, it does work. Excellent. So now we can do that. We can do that. And then if we go over to chat and do a resident sleeper, it now plays automatically. So we've built a chat alert now, entirely on our own gumption. We can just do whatever we want, basically, which rocks. We can detect any text and respond to it however we want. Yes, it does in fact work. Cool. Well, that's sick. And it'll be the foundation of building more of this fucking nonsense in the future. What else can we do? What else can we do? Let's see it. Well, I think we should try to send some chats. That's a little riskier. Getting into some risky territory, right? But suddenly I'm worried like, oh, we're gonna send 10,000 chats accidentally in a loop and we're gonna get banned. I don't know why this keeps doing this. We're gonna have to sort that out eventually. But let's try like doing one of those nifty little, like when you say yeah, he get banned. You get banned for crimes. Committing crimes against Twitch. Let's hope not. Let's try to make sure that doesn't happen. But I think we could send at least like one little message. We'll try responding to I I don't know. What's the thing to respond to? Let's see. We can do one of those nifty little exclamation. Okay, we're gonna have to build some stuff off screen. So how are we gonna do that? How are we gonna do that in a way that is at all entertaining, that doesn't explode explode everything? Well, we can where is the message of the day? We'll have to change it to something that isn't deranged. Working off screen briefly. Be back soon. I still talk. Heart, XO, XO. I love you, BB. Never go. Broken heart. What else do we say? That's it. I can't think of anything funny, and we're running out of time. Let's if I press the button, does this all explode? Doesn't, right? So now we gotta rely on some talking to carry us. We're gonna have to get up to some conversation, do a little conversing, because we gotta build something. So what I'm gonna do is basically, so the way, if you missed it, the way this all works is the way I can develop this shit without being constantly nervous about leaking my Twitch API credentials on stream is it's all actually running on a different machine, like, and then my stream rig is just connected to a server that like feeds the events over there. So basically now we just need a way for the events to go the opposite direction and back to Twitch. So let's build that out real quick. Let's see. Blah 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 blah. So how's everyone been doing today? I saw people came over from Renoxy. I think you were playing Paper Mario over in that direction. How is that all going? Thousand Year Door is a classic. One of the classics, I'd say. Real classic vibes. Whiskey and cigars vibes. That fun little time. What are we doing? We're over here on this other magical computer that you cannot see. We have actual resources. We can write some Haskell, do some shenanigans in that respect. But we're gonna try and make it real quick. We're gonna try and we're actually speedrunning programming at the moment. It's one of my many talents, or a few talents, if you depending on how you look at it, because they're all kind of within one super talent for pressing buttons on the computer. Let's see. So we need a okay. If we have incoming data to the Twitch client, how do we respond to that data? Let's try just printing it for now. Go there. What does this actually look like? Bus client. Oh god, we need a better machine just so we can do visual ASMR. This is ruinous. Ruinous. Okay. What's going on? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. This already happens in a loop. And then if we just say do the thing, log that thing, okay. Maybe this is something. Maybe. I don't know yet. Case D of So we need to make sure, so basically we're going to build some functionality so that we can send the same command bus that we're like receiving incoming chat messages from. We can also send outgoing chat messages, and then those will be sent to the Twitch chat. Like we just gotta pipe some things together basically. And that is, I don't know, is what it is. Pretty much. But what can you do? We gotta figure out exactly how it's gonna work though. Monitor. Going. Is that the thing? Is the thing? Okay, let's see. Got some. Gotta avoid the classic dead air. We're gonna make sure the air is alive. But it's gonna be worth it, I promise. The payoff is gonna be fucking tremendous. It's gonna be malformed in its size. Invalid. And we'll do the thing, we'll do this thing, we'll do that thing, we'll do everything. Okay, does it work? Let's do a little test. Do a little test. We're going soon. We need like 10 more seconds. Let's count. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're back. I missed you so much. Welcome back. I'm here again, computer. Okay. Let's see. Once again. Where are we going? I'm confused now. Need to go back to here. Back to here. Okay, and now we say something like fig pub monitor Twitch chat outgoing. Is that how we do it? Hi. Is that how? Maybe it's not how. Maybe we need to... Oh, this needs to be probably in a list. Sure. Will it break? Okay, now we need to go check again on the other screen. Do shenanigans. Head back over here. It didn't work at all. Oh, we need to subscribe to the message also. Okay. More off-screen work. Work. Doing stuff. Doing things. Reindenting blocks. Subscribe. What are we subscribing to? Expression. Monitor, Twitch, chat, outgoing. Yeah, that's the one. Can we build that? We're getting... Oh. We're causing problems for everyone. There we go. Maybe? Maybe? What's going on? What is going on? Oh. That is going on. That. Okay. Does that do the thing? Does it do? Does it do? Does it do? Okay, we're getting all kinds of confused here. Oh, yeah. We're trying to. We have like a cute little S expression parser thing with like quasi quotation. It's all fucked up. Everything's all fucked up all the time. That's just how it is. What's the deal here? What is the deal? The deal. Oh, things are breaking in other places. That's concerning. What is the problem? Okay. Might be time to get close to the end of this little excursion, because I think it's I don't know. We're spending too much time just dicking around. Not enough time having fun. But I don't know. I want it to work. I want this. I want it bad. So now I'm confused. I'm very, very confused. What does this even mean? What does any of this mean? What the fuck is even happening? Something odd. Clearly. If I make that go away, I make that go away. Is it all fixed? Whoa. Mashing undo. The greatest tactic of all. Okay, something's really fucked up here. I don't know what it is. And we need to determine it. Because the code that was working before is now broken because of some weird template Haskell thing. So I think what we're going to do is I will bag that little excursion for now. We'll come back over here, and we'll decide on something else to do. We'll work on the outgoing functionality at some other time, I think. That's the plan. So we have some more shit to do on screen. But what's something else we can do? What are our options here? What's I guess one thing we can do is we could start investigating what we would need to support in order to have like the kind of Twitch extension functionality that we want. Maybe? Question mark. I think that's a possibility. I don't know though. We'll have to see. We're gonna have to figure it out. Because I think the end goal, right? I think I've mentioned a few times, right? Is we want one little Twitch extension that you can, I don't know, maybe this was a little smaller, and this is a little narrower. We want something like here that we can you can mouse over on Twitch, and then like as one of those nifty little extension overlays, and then change, like, look at all the files that I'm currently working on. That might be a fun thing. So what would we need to do to support that? I think, well, I think not that much, actually. I think we'd probably want a miner mode that live uploads the like the buffer that it's set in to a little server, and then on the server we can like do syntax highlighting when we ingest the thing, probably, or we could upload the syntax highlight, like we could upload the font lock data maybe, but like, I mean, it might be easier just to do it on the server, and then like be able, like, just have that server be available to query from Twitch and send back the appropriate, like an HTML that looks like this roughly, and display it in the right spot. I don't know, like that seems viable. Build a little React app or something, or one of the myriad micro Reacts. Is Bwayne big? No, Bwayne's small. I mean, honestly, this stuff is like mostly like, I don't know, it's just been doing it for a long time, and it's mostly just smashing the pieces together until it all works. This is not a, no, we're dicking around. We gotta think of something to do that's fun. Maybe what we'll do is, what can we do to interact with chat that isn't, I don't have to go onto a tangent to support, but also will allow us to, like, I don't know, like, so we can basically just read arbitrary chat messages and do things with them. What could we do? I guess one thing we could do is work on make a better way to configure the avatar. Not even AI. Well, I mean, there's plenty of pictures, right? The I don't know. I'm confident you could get it, but I'm a believer in general. I think most people could do. But let's go on and venture in another direction. Let's go back to here. Let's head over here. Are we gonna kill our CPU here? I don't think so. So this is the source code for yours truly, and let's see if we can do some effects. Right? I'm sort of fond of it. Fond of effects. Maybe let's try. Do we already have? I want to make like a zoom in, zoom out kind of thing, like on a. We already have. Do you have like a global counter anywhere? We have scene position. Let's maybe, this is scale, rotation, translation. So what we're gonna do maybe is like, let's start just by like adding a little effect that like increases and decrease, like sinusoidally changes the scale. That sounds like maybe a good thing. Right? I think so. Right? So do we have like, this is just our kind of fixed time delta. I guess just every, what is it? ACK is, that's the accumulator for time. We have this frame count thing here. It's going up by 1 every frame. And it's basically incrementing to 59 and then resetting to 0 over and over again. That's maybe promising. Let's just like, I don't know. Let mut t equals 0.0. Load time. Where's frame count? We're just going to try something like this. Equals float time plus 0. Let's make it go fast for now. That's probably way too fast, but we'll get there. And then the scale equals, well, we're going to say, can we just get like, are there trig functions? Rust sine trigonometry. Do we have that? Oh, it's just a, it's on a trait. Yes. Yes. Does this work? And then we replace, or we're going to say this is plus, so sine goes between 1 and negative 1. So if we add 1 to this, this is going to go between 0 and 2. Right, which is not what we want. It's going to make us very big and very small, very fast. But let's try it. Let's just do this for now. Scale, scale, scale. Where is... Why is this all fucked up? There we go. Let's rebuild, relaunch, do the whole little dance. We're gonna build some fun stuff today. I think maybe we'll build some chat integration with my model, right? Which is gonna require some. Why are we doing that? Let's, you know, let's not print the ASCII out for now, because the ASCII out, like printing the ASCII makes it difficult to test some things, because let's say like this equal to 7, right? Like that'll never be true. And then we can just do cargo run release, because if I just try and print it, I have to use a special terminal to print the ASCII art, like because it's just like too fast. Oh, we need to import the trait. Well, maybe not. I don't know what version we're actually on. Oh, it's an ambiguous. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm. Sure. It's telling me just what to do, and I'm just ignoring it because I'm a gamer. Okay. Let's see this. Maybe we're gonna. Oh, we have to do the magic words. Run the magic incantation. Let's see. Let us see. How will it go? Okay, that's moving extremely quickly. And so that means we need to make it not move extremely quickly. Let's make it 1/100th as fast. And see if that works. Writing a shader. Well, not a shader right now. We're just like trying to scale our model on. We'll see. I don't know why that's doing that. So we're just trying to add some interesting effects to the model. I'll show you the model because well, if we switch back to this equal to 0 and then we run launch. Let's fire it up. Also, welcome Zyru. It's good to see you for the very first time, right? This is well, there it is in that mode. Now it's already zoomed out too far. We need to, let's turn off the scaling. Turn off the scaling. Let's just say scale equals 1.0 for ease. Gotta do the compile because this machine is very slow. And we're also compiling on release mode because it's very slow. But yeah, so this is, you can see I have this little this is printing in a terminal, and it's like this is an ASCII art render of the, I guess ANSI art because it's using colors, render of the model, and it has face tracking, right? So I'm moving all around, and we're trying to add some interesting effects to it, like kind of like a sinusoidal scaling and scaling kind of effect. I don't know. Yeah, and yeah, I do game dev. I am interested. I have not yet released a game, but I have been aspirationally trying to make games for quite a while, and eventually we'll get there. It turns out it just occurred. It just the chat does not show here at all. So we're gonna reopen. What are we doing here? What are we? We gotta relaunch the little chat widget so it shows up. Maybe. Is that what we need to do? Yeah, I think that's what we need to do. Now chats will show up. Like if I tell it to make a chat appear. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, we missed yours, but I can still see them. But yeah, we are aspirationally doing game dev in Rust in some form at some time. But this is kind of a side project that I honestly embarked on mostly to figure out how rendering for like GLTF works, which is like a, I don't know, cool format. Previously, I'd only been like working with like shitty formats that don't have many features like OBJ, but yeah, this is I kind of figured out how to load and render VRM models, which involve like skeletal animation and all that fun stuff. So yeah, game dev stuff happening here. But for now, we're trying to make this silly little anime creature increase and decrease in size at according to trigonometry. So that's the plan. And what do we actually care about? We probably want to scale this thing between like roughly 0.8 and 1.2. Is game dev more popular on Linux or Windows? That's probably a tough question, right? Realistically, I suspect that most commercial game devs are using Windows, right? I would be, but like I think in the end it doesn't matter too much, right? Like I mean, a lot of like big like AAA games, especially like it's all gonna be on like Unreal in Windows, I would guess, or like whatever engine in Windows. But it like if you're using like Unity, for example, you can easily, I think, build the thing in Unity on Linux and then like do cross-platform builds, right? And similarly, like I've been writing these things in Rust, like I have my own little custom engine, but then I can like you can easily cross-compile, right? So you can build a Windows exe from Linux. I don't think it's as easy to build a Linux exe from Windows, but I haven't tried. I'm sure it's not insurmountable, but yeah, I think probably the best choice for an OS if you're on like a game dev team is whatever the rest of your team is using and whatever they're used to. But yeah. Oh yeah, STL is a great choice. STL is what I definitely use. I think at this point, STL is like it's definitely, I think it's my favorite library for doing like window management and like input handling, right? Like reading like keyboard and mouse events. Like that's what this is using here. If we search for STL, like we're doing STL stuff from Rust, set up to like load textures and set up the window. Yeah, Raylib is also pretty cool, but Raylib is a little more like opinionated. I feel like so STL has like kind of nice options to expand, right? Like especially if you want to do 3D, because like STL both has like the built-in rendering functions that let you do like 2D stuff like relatively efficiently with like a pretty nice interface, but you can also use STL to like get your window and get your events and then ask for an OpenGL context or like a Vulkan context, I think, and then do 3D, which is cool. But yeah, Raylib's also great because Raylib is like super duper easy to use. and has like just a nice API for just like getting stuff on the screen, which is often like the best thing, right? It's better versus trying to find the perfect option. It's probably best to just like get some stuff on the screen, get going, get building. So yeah. Are you building anything in particular, Zyru, or just messing around? Just I know people are averse to like sharing their specific ideas for their games, so of course don't if you don't feel comfortable. But I'd love to hear about new stuff that people are doing. All right, where's that scale? So we probably want this to be like times 0.2. Let's try something like that. Let's kill this, do that. Bam, bam, bam. Oh, we're still, what are we complaining about now? Unexpected closing, line 4. Did I fuck something up when I was jumping around? I think maybe I did. Times 0.2. There we go. Right now I just set up NeoVim on my Windows machine and going to finish linking Raylib today, but I want to brainstorm more. I'm in the rabbit hole of configuring my... Oh yeah, that's a classic one, right? What are we failing? Oh, yeah, the magic words. But yeah, it's falling into that. I mean, this is all it's probably hard to recognize at this point, but this is all Emacs, right? I'm kind of living in Emacs. I've definitely been bitten hard by the bug of editor configuration stuff over the past 10 years or so. Why am I just getting bigger forever? That seems like a problem. What is the deal with that? Maybe it's too slow now. Maybe it's too slow. Maybe it's still too big. Let's make float time go 10 times faster. But yeah, good luck with all of that. I hope you have a fun time. It's Raylib especially. It's always so fun. You just got your editor and you got C and Raylib. You're just building stuff, getting it on the screen. Okay, is this faster now? Yeah, now we're increasing and decreasing in size. Let's examine that. Yeah, unfortunately, because the center of the model is actually just like the center of my torso, this is also creating this weird bobbing effect. Thanks for the follow. I hope you have a good time. We're gonna be doing a lot more of this. So it just looks like we're at C. We are which is not the best thing. What can we do that's better than this? Well, instead of scaling and unscaling, we could move maybe. Like we can move the camera position. Where is the camera position being set? We have this. We're computing this view, but it's not mutable. Where is view being used? Yeah, here. Here. So we just move this inside of here. That's probably fine, right? And then we say we're here. This is our Z offset, which is like how far we are from the model. And we say this is like we can stop adding here, and this is like plus offset, maybe that's a thing. Maybe that is a thing. Let's see if that creates an effect that is a little more agreeable. Okay, we're building first. What is the issue? Oh. We need to clean up our mess. Normally, of course, I would have some nice errors. We wouldn't be doing this compile loop. We would have LSP or something. But again, the curse of poor CPU performance strikes yet again. And this is failing for good reasons now. But yeah, I guess Zairu, on that point of brainstorming more, if you're still around, one thing that I enjoyed doing when I was starting off with stuff, that's a very subtle effect now, right? You can see moving farther away and it's moving in. That's very funny. Maybe we'll make it a little more. Let's increase the speed. But one thing I did a lot when I was starting was game jams. That's a lot of fun. Like Ludum Dare, I think it's pronounced Ludum Dare is a big one. They do like a couple times a year, a big game jam where you can just sit down for 48 hours with a theme and build something with a bunch of other people and like have a good chance of it actually getting seen by somebody and played and getting some feedback. And that's fun. It's fun to like work under constraints and time pressure, I find, because you spend like, at least I spend less time like just fucking around and more time, I don't know, doing stuff, doing interesting stuff. I don't know, man. Like let's make this a little bit faster. By a little bit, I mean five times faster. And let's make this a little bit bigger. And then let's try that. Let's try that. What will we get? What will we get? What will we get? Something interesting. Something's going on. It's working. Yeah, that's the effect that I wanted, right? This sort of very yeah, goofy zooming effect. And you can see very clearly my my powerful T-pose stance. The stance that emboldens the chakras and facilitates maximum channeling of spiritual energy. So let's, okay, so what do we need to do next? We can make a bunch of effects like this, right? Like we can have a bunch of effects that like do weird things to the model and toggle them. We need to have some way to control these things from Emacs and therefore from chat, right? Like, so what are we going to do about that? Let's, I guess maybe what we do is, I don't know. We like a lot of this shit is like pretty ad hoc over here in my model renderer. Like this is all just in one giant source file where we're just doing everything. But like, that's probably fine. It's probably fine. But what we do need is like some way to ingest. We can probably connect to our same like message bus that we're using to get the chat messages in the first place. That seems like the most sustainable solution, but it might be kind of wonky. I don't know how to fucking parse things in Rust. I guess we can learn. I guess that's what we're here for. Yeah, let's do that actually. Let's embark on that little adventure. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna get some water. But Sertal, Kerbo Smile, Bonk. Maybe, or Bop. We're being bopped? What are we being bopped for, my friend? Have a boppage situation. I do love that little Kerbo. He's a little guy, quite a little fella, if I do say so myself. I am bopping. Yeah, we're bopping like crazy. Yeah. What channel is that from? I will attempt to acquire. I want him. I want him to be mine. I want to make for him a little home where he can live out his days in peace. Sertal. Okay, yeah, that would be obvious given the prefix. I guess I should maybe be a little less of a goof. but cool, we'll look into that. Okay, water time. I'm not gonna do the, do we do the blinding background? Do we need to destroy everyone's vision? I don't know. Let's see. Let's try it. Does it work? There we go. We got it. Let's be right back. Mwah. All right, it's time once again for the festivities to continue. Oop, there we go. Okay, we're gonna write a little bit of Rust. We're gonna write some Rust that connects to a socket. We're gonna see how that will work for us. In fact, I think we're already doing that. Because in order to read Rust moment, indeed. What's a, I mean, a cool thing to do there would be to make a reference to the video game Rust, the base claiming PvPing shooty game Rust, DayZ clone, right? But I don't know anything about that, so unfortunately we have to pass on that one and deal with this meta joke. Yeah, Rust. Can you explain? Rust is a programming language. Rust is a programming language that is relatively new compared to other programming languages, and I don't know, I like it a little bit. I'm not like obsessed with it, but I think it's like kind of nice. I haven't written too much of it. Its claim to fame, which is a good thing, is that it is memory safe, which means that a bunch of errors related to things that tend to cause security vulnerabilities in applications, right? Like the main ways you would typically, like, I don't know, like hack lots of like things. There's exploits like called like buffer overflows, right? Where you kind of like write off, you mess up your lengths somehow in your program, and then someone can write off the end of the thing and make your program do whatever they want it to do. Rust is pretty good at avoiding those things because of a variety of type system features. But for us, it's just like, I don't know, it's a nice little language. I like writing it. It's fast because it's kind of a I don't know, it has a good compiler and not garbage collected and like a variety of things. So I like using it for game dev and like rendering stuff like this because it's, I don't know, there's probably not really a good reason. Like this is not super intensive. People tend to have weird ideas about programming language performance, and like usually it doesn't matter at all. It just doesn't. Like people think, some people are doing things that are like performance sensitive enough for it to matter, certainly, but a lot of people think they are but aren't, I would say. Yeah, you can see here's the face tracking shit. I think, like, where are we connecting? Are we opening this socket anywhere? Standard net UDP socket behind. Well, that looks like a whole lot what we want to do. Like, let's maybe, how are we gonna do this? How the fuck are we going to do this? How are we even sharing memory here? Is there like a arc around a mutex or something? I don't know. I don't know these concurrency patterns, but we're gonna try. We're certainly gonna try. I don't know. It's like there's a lot of other streams you can watch for people who are like cool and confident and know things about the language and the libraries, and like, I don't know, man. I'm just gonna try shit out. I don't know anything. I'm just a humble gamer, and we're gonna try and make it work. So this looks like we're storing the state of the face tracking here. Like, so what would we store? Like, how do we want to dispatch commands is the question. Because, like, I think we'll probably want, like, we'll want a thread that has a TCP socket that connects to our message bus, subscribes to some events, and then reacts to those events by changing a state. It's probably just like a collection of bools with the main thing, the main thread. I think that's probably something that will be not too awful. So let's try that. Maybe. I don't know. And let's see where we get. Will we get somewhere good? That is the question. Trying to think of how we're going to handle this. Let's see. We're so disorganized here. I wish we had a little bit, we're a little more clever about how this was all going. Where is state defined? Sure. Yeah, that looks like what we're doing. So let's say we also have let's change state to tracking state. Let's do that everywhere. Is the word state anywhere else? Tracking state. Didn't mean to put a new line there. Tracking state. Okay, we've done that. Let's call this tracking state, something like that, right? STS. Sure. We're doing stuff. We are doing stuff. These all need to be STS. Let's make it happen. Can we cargo build release, please? Question mark. Will it work? Should probably fix these obnoxious warnings so that we actually, but I don't know. This is still pretty sketchy, right? This is all sketchy in the sense that it is a sketch, right? We're sketching things out. Sure. Let's leave that. Kill that. What else? So now let's make a new thing. We're just gonna build a toggle for this kind of like wave effect, I think. Right? That seems like a thing to do. We go above our render loop. Yeah. We're gonna make another struct for our, what are we gonna call this? Toggle state. And we're gonna call this the zoom wave toggle. Is this called Boolean or just bool? I don't know, Rust. That seems fine. Shared toggle state. Toggle state, sure. In this, we're gonna call this tracking state. We're gonna look for state lowercase. Tracking state. State. Yep. All good. Okay. So now we have a toggle state. Currently it's just one Boolean. And then we're going to only do this camera post thing if toggle state. I mean, honestly, we're to like do the lock thing. Put a rat in. Can we put a rat in? Where can we incorporate the rat? Can I make my model an emoji? Will that work? Let's try that. We're gonna try that real quick because we're crazy people here. Okay, this explodes an emoji. Yeah. Well, it is an emoji, right? The I don't know if you're teasing about the use of the word emoji versus emote or whatever, but like this one is like a Unicode emoji. That's why I can put it here. Let's try it. Colors will probably won't work at all, and like the widths are probably not right. We're gonna be super wide, maybe. Is that gonna be the case? Let's see. Let's see. Moving along. Rebooting. Yeah. Reboot. Crashed immediately. Yeah, that seems about right. So I guess the answer is we can't. That's fun. Well, now I'm frustrated. Why does it crash? Why does it simply not be good? If we run just this terminal. I'm not a WAT, yes. I don't even know how I paste in this terminal. Do I have to middle mouse click? Probably some fucking godforsaken thing. How can we get the rat somewhere where we can access it? rat.txt. Cat rat.txt. Okay, it can display emoji. Why does it not do? What is the concern? Why does it simply not behave? Because like now I want toggles to like emoji mode. Why don't we have that? This is technology that we all need as a people, as a culture. Can we, okay, if we set this up like so, we'll have to run the tracking separately, I think. We can see like what it actually prints out. Like if I do this, maybe? Will that run the tracking? Yeah, so there's our face tracking. And then if we go here and we type the magic words, maybe it will do the thing that we want it to do, and we can become rat. Let's see. Or at least, I mean, it won't do the thing that it will definitely not do the thing that we want. It will crash. But maybe we'll see why it crashed. No, we didn't at all. We saw fucking nothing. It cleared the whole terminal. That is slightly frustrating. What? How? Okay. Do we have other terminals that we can run? Like, if we, do we have Kitty installed? Is this gonna look like some fucking godforsaken thing? We're really off on a tangent today, but I think it's okay. It's fun to do all kinds of bullshit, you know. This has been a nice reprieve from our AI shenanigans we've been getting up to. Definitely a nice reprieve. Alright, this is just taking fucking eons. Taking fucking millennia to see if this terminal can be installed. And I don't think that's what we want to be doing with our time. So let's kill the tracking, blah blah blah. Get back to where we need to be. So last Project Rat is for now in the dust. But in honor, we're going to type out Night 5G2 Rat, and we'll get there that way. Sometimes you have to make compromises on this horrible little planet, this horrible plane. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, now we are much more angular. We've transitioned from boba to kiki. LLLL was a very boba word. Lots of rounded edges, basically all rounded edges. Whereas we have all these T's and K's now. It's making us looking real sharp, I would say. We're in sharp mode. We need that to capture the spirit, the true spirit of gaming that is Night 522 Rat. Hey, thanks for the raid, Xenia. Welcome, raiders. How was your stream? I hope it was delightful. What were you guys up to over there? We are getting up to some nonsense here, as you can see. Welcome, raiders. Thanks for coming around. You guys have fun over there? Octopath Gaming. Oh yeah, I think I saw you playing Octopath 2. How is that going? I haven't played Octopath 1, but I was a big fan of like Bravely Default. But yeah. Hello, we are in textual mode here. We are I am LLLL Colonq, ASCII art VTuber guy. We do programming over here. We're building some nifty chat integration, pretty much. Trying to move in an interesting direction. We have some effects set up. We do things like what if I where is it? If I Resident Sleeper in the chat, does this still work? I think it works. Maybe it works. Looks like it worked. We built that tonight. We cannot make ourselves the rat emoji, unfortunately, due to mysterious technical reasons. But yeah, we're trying to make this kind of, see this bobbing mode here where we're kind of moving towards and away from the camera. We're trying to make that a toggle so that we can toggle it with a chat command for now, and eventually like a channel point redeem once we have those. Once we're in the channel point area, the domain of channel points. But for now, That's what we're doing. I think. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, welcome back, Patterns and Droves. It's been a minute. We saw you a little while back. But yeah, not bobbing our head. Maybe we can do a spinny mode. Can we do a spinny mode? Let's try spinny mode. Let's change this from Night 522 Rat to Xenia Hema to honor our new friends. Let's do this. So if we go here, we can change this right away, and then we can get up to some other stuff. Let's see. Something of a programmer yourself. Oh, very cool. I'd love to hear about it. I don't know, man. I just love the computer. I'm a computer aficionado, if you will. Yeah, here's me. Here's where I am, and here we are in this mode. Yeah, this is the nerd zone, Tally. You're gonna have to get used to it. This is no cool kids allowed. Only nerds. Nerds only. Game dev, awesome. I was talking to someone earlier, and I'm an aspirational game dev, but not much of a game dev in practice, in the sense that I have not released a game. But I'm interested. I have this engine thing here that does the rendering for my model was sort of pulled off from a game I was working on. Let's see. What do we want to do? We want to do a spinny. Instead of the bobbing effect, let's do a spinny. Where are we? Where's our offset? Offset. Please tell me. Blah, 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 blah. We have too many things named offset. It's near camera posts. Yeah. What do we want to do? We want to change. Yeah, game jams are. I have done a few game jams. I've done, I think, 3 Ludum Dares, but that was a long time ago. Now I just mostly embark on games that I'm like, oh, this won't be too large. This won't be like super ambitious, and then it always kind of bloats up a little bit and gets too ambitious, and I don't finish. So that's the annoying thing. Okay, if instead of doing this, if we just say camera post is just this for now, and we add this offset to here. Oh no, we can't just add it, right? We'll have to, this third parameter is like the up direction, right? So we could like nominally like make that move back and forth. But then we're gonna have to do some trig there a little bit. Because like, okay, how do we want to do that? I have to remember trigonometry now. So like, fuck. Can't we do this? Can't we do this in an easier way? We could rotate the whole model, but the problem is like the center of the model is going to be like the point at which we're rotating around, which is going to be like weird. We want to rotate around the head, basically. It's going to work best if we just rotate the view. Let's see. So let up equals oh, we actually do have this. Oh, this is just doing completion from. Okay, let's say glam vec3 rust. See if we can get something that is sane. Yeah. What nifty little methods do we have here? Do we have a convenient way to take an angle and compute a normalized vector in that direction? Angle. Well, that we can get an angle between vectors. Well, what is the what is the thing to do here? I mean, what we actually want to do is the thing to do. Well, maybe we search from underscore. Are there sufficient from underscores? There's just from array. Can we search for a, how do you make game jam? Well, you need a bunch of game fruit. And you need a pot to boil in and some sugar. You squish it. Yeah, you got the picture. What is this thing? We can get a quaternion going and then maybe compute a vector from this. Please. Please, please. Maybe. Would be very good. It would be very, very nice. Maybe we'll just do this. Maybe we're gonna do it by hand. Fuck it. So we have an angle. This angle is going to be an angle in the what are we saying here? The xy plane, I guess, right? Where x is, that's sort of the plane that's parallel to the screen. Z is kind of going into and out of the screen. And that angle, let's say for now it's equal to, I don't know, where's pi? How do we get, it's standard F32 cons pi. So what is a complete circle is 2 pi radians, right? So 180 degrees is pi, 90 degrees is pi over 2, pi over 4 will be we want it kind of at a jaunty offset, right? Something that will recognize that it's working. Then up. What is up? Lam it's a vector, right? It has some component in the x direction, some component in the y direction, and some component also in the z direction, which is always going to be 0 because it's not facing towards or away from the screen at all. It's simply like kind of parallel to the screen. I'm going to replace this with up. Okay. So now we just have to think, right? Like, what is the, I think we care about, I think the y component is angle dot cosine and the x component is angle dot sine, right? Because this is sort of the, if we consider this is like an angle in like the, like kind of the angle of a triangle with hypotenuse 1, right? Then this is sort of like the, well, no, it's the other way. Because cosine is adjacent, right? Cosine is the x component, and sine is the y component. Maybe. Let's try that. It's gonna probably, this is probably gonna give us something like royally fucked up, but we're gonna try. We're gonna stop doing the offsetting thing too. So let's do the thing. Let's do a build first, just so we develop, C, build, release, fire it off. What are you complaining about now? Oh, are we forgetting? Yeah. This is why we need more CPU, so that we can run LSP and catch these things. But yeah. Let's check. That builds. Does it run? Yeah, so now we are at a jaunty angle. And we're still at a jaunty angle when we move back over here and we do tracking. That feels very weird. but nifty. So now what we do is we want to vary that jaunty angle based on something, right? So if we just make this pi over 2, we should be straight up again. I think. I hope so. I certainly hope so. Well, let's try a few things. We'll make it pi over 2, and then we'll add the offset, which might be a whole lot, but maybe we're fine. Maybe it's sufficiently small. Hell yeah. We're moving. Yeah, there we go. Now we're kind of swaying back and forth. That's fun. Can we do more of a sway? Well, this is just, again, kind of like a sinusoidal wave back and forth. We can add even more to this. We can do the zoom in and out as well. All right, let's get there. That sounds just like what we want. We're going to be getting making viewers seasick. That is the plan for the evening. Let's try it out. There we go. Well, it's kind of hard to see when both are happening, but like it's like, well, it's noticeable. But like I think it's better. Like I think we want the yeah. Let's turn that off. Maybe. Let's see. I don't know. Well, we're gonna make these toggles. I want the spin to not just be like this. Let's do a 360-degree spin. Like if we add float time here instead, just normally. Let's see if we can do go all the way around. I'm glad that we managed to successfully do the most basic trigonometry possible instead of bashing our head against nothing for hours while trying to avoid doing math. Oh, there we go. That's what we want. Now we're in business. That's a little too fast, but I think this is the ideal viewing experience for VTuber fans everywhere. People who are enjoyers of talking anime online are looking for exactly this experience, I think, at least. This is hellish. I describe this as approximately hellish. Let's make it slower. It'd be cool if we had an effect where like it changed to match like the minute hand of a clock, like our current rotation. That'd be fucking sick. I want to do like more like environmental. That's what we call environmental integration in the business. When you're in the business of whatever this horseshit is called, that's what we call it. I want to do a stream idea I've had for a while is cock size calculator based on moon phase. I'm thinking that's coming soon. We need various moon phase based widgets and gizmos. Wow, this looks insane when I'm holy moly. Yeah, that's better. Now we're going nice and slow, and we're zooming in and out and getting up to some real horse shit. Okay, knock one back. Sniff a line. Now it's time to get moving. So we need to toggle these things. I'm gonna leave it on for now. I'm gonna make it. Oh, we need to make it even slower. It's still too damn fast. It needs to be a very slow rotation. I think actually the way to do this is to make float time slower because we want the bobbing to be slower as well. Let's make float time half as fast. All right, we're getting somewhere. We have some horse shit going on. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, nice and slow. Nice and slow. I think we're gonna stick to that for the foreseeable future. I think. Well, I mean, for the rest of this stream, until we need to test our toggles. That's let's actually give these things names. Where's our toggle state? These are called. We have zoom wave and we have spin. We're gonna pass in one of these toggle state is a shared toggle state. And then where's tracking state actually used? Well, it's there. Sure. So we can say things like, where is the spinny actually happen? Where is the spinny happen though? Well, this guy, if dot zoom wave, if we're zoom waving, then it's that. Otherwise, it's this again. Well, no, we can do this even better. We can do better than this. We're better than that. And I lost my copy paste. How unfortunate. Well, do we want to do this? What do we want to do? I think probably. I was like, well, we can make this mutable, and then, but I don't think we want to make it unnecessarily mutable. Well, let's say this is space. Let camera posts equals if toggle state dot zoom wave. And this is camera post base plus lam vec3 new 0.00 offset. Let's just pop this in here. Make it nice. Otherwise, it's just camera post space. Very good. We got the thing. The thing has been done successfully. Okay, what? Oh, we need to make this not have offset. Sure. What next? We need to do the same thing for up. But up we'll just do if toggle state dot lock dot unwrap dot spinny else equal to the default up. Hooray! We're doing it. We're making things occur. Okay, so now we can do that based on that. Okay, well that's that. We need to actually make a toggle state. And we'll say, what will we say? We'll say spin is true. And zoom wave is false for now, right? So once we do this, we will only be spinning and we will not be zooming anymore. I made a terrible mistake. I have caused problems. So these things both start with a T. And I was being bad. We'll have cumbersome variable names. That's okay. That is a-okay with me. Okay. What are we doing? This needs to get a copy of shared toggle state clone. Okay, and now we build, fix what comes, you run, and if we fail, what do we got here? 4 previous errors. Oh, yeah, that'll do it. Forgot to change the names in some places. This should be toggle. There we go. There we go. What do we got? Well, oh, yeah. Classic error of trying to be cool and copy paste things around and then failing. What do we got now? We're not adding semicolons. Okay. Does this do the thing? Does it do the thing? Will it do? Yeah. So if we run this now, we should only be spinning. Called me dirty. Yeah. Is that what it said? Oh, yeah. Well, we did. I wonder. That gets used occasionally for... Oh, this is actually very funny. It doesn't show... The chat thing doesn't show messages that are... pinging. Like, what is going on here? I have there's something fucked up with my parser. I bet it doesn't work if the message contains a colon, amusingly. If I send this, yeah, it doesn't show it. Also, welcome Flanzen. Thank you for the follow. Hope you find meaning and fulfillment. Yeah, this thing's all fucked up, dude. There's something weird happening here. I'd say. All kinds of shenanigans going on. We gotta fix that. I don't know what we're gonna do. Bet quotes are very broken. Some kind of shenanigans happening. Okay, we're spinning slowly around and around and around. Now we can ideally read these things. How do you escape my sandbox, please? I bet you actually can. I bet there's actually, like, now that I'm thinking about it, I bet, like, this thing is, like, eminently, like, it's probably not super, like, hackable, but, like, well, maybe it is. It's kind of the same kind of thing where, like, you don't trust, like, I think I'm, like, adding, like, the user message to a string, and then, like, if you have quotes, those are going to end up, like, quoting the string in the language. I don't think there's two, like, but you can, yeah, you can definitely fuck things up. Maybe on a future stream, we will examine exactly how badly you can fuck things up with the current implementation, and maybe try and resolve that to prevent against the hacker Chavi menace. Is that how you pronounce that? Is it Tally Chavi? Is that the nature of the situation? All right, what else is Chavi? Oh, Chovy like anchovy. Cool. Are you an anchovy enthusiast? The most maligned pizza topping, maybe. Yeah, nice. I don't think I've ever had anchovies. I know they're like, I've heard they're like really salty. Is that the lore? They're just like super salty little dudes. Okay, what are we doing here? Toggles. We want to parse and read S expressions. Disgusting because if you aren't near a fish market or coast, then you get the preserved in salt kind. Yeah, I can imagine. That sounds gross. I have been an eater back in my collegiate days. I was an eater of canned sardines a lot, and those are like, I mean, they're not like little dudes. They're kind of like, you get those typically in like oil or like, I don't know, various sauces. They were definitely not fresh. Nah, I imagine anchovies, typically the kind you're getting on pizza, are not super fresh. Cool though. Cool. Let's see. What is the next step in our master plan? We need to write. Okay, let's start maybe by. Well, I don't know, because I would say like, let's start by writing, like, making this thing a little TCP server, and then just like netcatting it things to change the toggles. But like, I don't know if I like that, because like it doesn't need to be a TCP server eventually. It needs to be a TCP client. So like, yeah, let's make it a client of something. What will we do? We're gonna make a little thing here. We're gonna make a little thing. Trying to think of the best way to, like, I want to just like find a like pre-built solution for this, because there definitely is like a nice, there's probably a nicer way to handle just like reading like Unicode text over a socket versus having to like do all of the stuff. Like, I just want to be able to read a line, man. Like, I don't want to Rust 8 over TCP socket. Oh, yeah. Well, this looks like something that we can yoink from. I think we might want to yoink. This might be a yoink situation. Because like, ultimately, like, what we're doing is like it's basically HTTP, right? You should play with your code in ChatGPT. I think that would be good, like YouTube content. Yeah, I think potentially. I think yeah, we gotta find some way to get the trendy computer topics in here, right? We gotta get ChatGPT, GPT-4. Like, I don't know. Like, we could do. I've thought about having like building like an AI companion, right? Like a Neurosama style thing, right? Like the I don't know, like someone that will just like respond to me rambling for a little more of a back and forth. Computers aren't people. That's right. The computer should know its place. It's the computer is my friend, but the computer is not people. It is computer. It's one of the many mysteries. They can be a friend without being a people. Yeah, as much as I like it, I don't know. It's a tough question. Many thinkers, many philosophical bonkers have pondered this exact thing. I don't know. Who the fuck cares though? Okay. Well, this looks like, what are we doing here? We have we're handling connections. We're getting streams, and we're presumably doing a TCP connect will give us a TCP stream from which we can get a buff reader, and we can call lines on buff reader. That seems like exactly the kind of thing that we want to do. So maybe let's do that. let's say something like, let's make our, let's say standard thread spawn movers. We're falling way behind here over here. Does that work? Yeah. Neato. Sorry, that was TTS burp. Fuck. I think we have a handle on it now. We can hop back and forth. This is Rust TCP, Rust net TCP stream. Okay. I'm sure the correct way to do this is with Tokyo or whatever, but who cares? Let's, why are we mute stream? We're gonna literally just yoink this right out. Net stream connect dot unwrap. So we don't care. We're connecting to our server that has the goodies on it, because we want goodies. And then let's, we just write like, what do these look like? What do the things look like? Well, this is a whole lot of stuff. Where's reading? Oh, it's a IO thing. Oh, we can just do like buff. That's where that thing comes from. Can we do both to it? We've got to go back to our web server example. Okay, well this just reads a bunch of stuff. And then, yeah, I think this maybe works. Where's this buff reader from? Where is he living? IO. Mute reader equals IO buff reader new stream. Cool. So I think what we want to do is we want to subscribe to, is this called write all? I think it is. We're gonna say like sub monitor Twitch chat incoming, maybe. Just for now, we're just gonna print out all incoming chats. That seems good. Yeah. As bytes. Unwrap question mark? No. Unwrap here. And again, yeah, unwrap's bad, but like, we're just having fun, man. We're just having a good old time. Hanging out. My friend, the computer. Okay. For L in buff reader.lines. Is this going to do what we want it to? I feel like it's, maybe is. Like, will this just block until there's more data? I hope it does. I kind of hope it does. Yeah. Event. Yeah, we're gonna have to change to like not do the rendering for now, I think, while we like log what events are coming in. Otherwise it's gonna fuck things up. I think. Event L. Okay. So this is doing that. So instead of event loop, if we just do like while true, maybe this does the thing that we want. Okay. Let's try it. Try it out. See where we get. See if there's anything interesting. Also, welcome. Thank you for the follow, Hanbun. Sorry if I got that wrong. I missed that by a couple minutes. Welcome. I hope you're having a good time. Oh, we should. Sure. What were the errors? Tell me. What are we missing here? What are we missing? Oh, of course. Standard. There we go. Into the breach again. Onward. Lines not found in buff reader. That's interesting. Rust buff reader lines. Oh, this is a trait, standard IO. Maybe we need to also import the trait. That is a thing in Rust, right? Like importing for instances in Haskell. Does it do the thing? Does it do the thing? Does it do the thing? Oh, it's a result. There it is. We need to unwrap it. Okay, let's try that. Does it do the thing? Looks like it's a little more promising this time. Yeah, cool. Now we just run this without doing the launch shenanigans, so you can see the output. See where we get. Do we get anywhere of interest? We're running. Something's happening. Oh, I mean it's probably running. We type a message in chat. Like, what do we type here? Oh, hell yeah, we just did it. First try. Look at that. We can read the chat messages from the Rust thing now. How cool that is. Huh. So what we really want then, yeah. Oh, we have a new barrel. Oh, is that like one of the modified dudes? Is that how they work? Hello, Flanzen. Good to see you around. Even more rats. We're going rat core today. Kind of evoking some rat style. I would go so far to say. Let's not print this anymore. Let's do like, this seems to just be working. I'm shocked that this just like works. I'm kind of like very shocked. But that's the way that cookie crumbles sometimes. So how are we actually gonna like how are we gonna do this? I don't want to parse these fucking messages. That seems horrid. Let's just make it so that the events we're going to subscribe to a particular event type called I don't know, like toggle or like avatar toggle. Yeah, that seems good. And then we'll only receive avatar toggle events on this connection. And then when we do receive an avatar toggle event, we'll say things like if, well, let's say let strl equals l dot unwrap. If strl dot Rust string contains yes, it exists, contains zoom. The orientation is equal to not the current orientation. This could be better. It doesn't matter. Not the orientation, of course. The zoom. The zoom wave. We're gonna say zoom wave. Zoom wave. And then put that in the correct thing. Do the correct indentation. This should be shared toggle state. We're also going to, for now, print line toggled zoom wave. Sup, Alto VT. Welcome, welcome. How's it going? How is your day going? We are getting up to some shenanigans. Right now my model is not on screen, but maybe soon. Maybe soon we're gonna be back. So we're making some tweaks, doing some tuning. We're in the shop. Configuring a VPS. Sick. For anything interesting or like the work related business, which I guess could be interesting also. But you know what I mean. Spinny. Okay, let's test if this works. We're gonna have to like write a writer for this thing. Let us see. Let us see. Kind of work. Gonna do a web server to host a website about me IRL to function as a CV. Cool. Yeah, I have that exact thing as well. That is how I do it. Also, I also have, sort of streamlated. This is not actually a VPS yet. I'm just using like my registrar's shitty hosting, but we now have a glorious domain name. You can go to colonq.computer, if you will, to view our beautiful little stream. And yeah, that's the thing. I had bought that in the past because I wanted the email address, but I figured I should make it do something other than just collect my mail. Okay, what are we doing? Colonq like Colonq. You ever play Colonq? I don't think I ever did play. I don't think I've played Colonq. Is Colonq a game? One of the video games? What is this? Yes. Is it a fun game? What platform is Colonq for? That sounds like PS2 to me. That's a PS1 or PS2 title. That's my gamble. Avatar, Windows. Oh shit. I had a site for my VTuber links, but it didn't make sense to keep it. Yeah. Those VPSs, they can be pricey. It's not that pricey, but like why pay for it if it's not in use? If we do this now, that didn't work at all. Why did it not work? Oh, we're only printing if we. Yeah, there we have toggled spin. The epic domain redirection to my Twitch. Yeah, that's what I'm doing too, right? Like I don't have like, I mean, the correct way to do redirect would be to like have the domain point at the VPS, and then have the VPS serve up a 301, then have the 301 go to my Twitch. But like, the registrar will just do it for you, even if it's slow. So that's what we're doing. I might have might do a site in the future because that's sort of on brand, but like, I have to build it on stream, of course. Can't be having that. Why does this only happen once? Why does it not? Is this getting like headlocked? Probably, right? Or there's some weird shit probably happening here. We can just say let old equals. Maybe we want to make this control a little more like, I don't know. Well, we'll do this for now. I don't know how these things, how Rust locks and like how holding and releasing a lock in Rust works. Like if I do this, is that semantically different than this? Maybe. Her friend said she'd give me a good price on a site if she can do it on her spare time as practice. Oh, cool. Sick. Sick. Yeah, I'm sort of like, maybe this is meaningfully different, right? Because I sort of think like, I don't know. I don't know how like intermediate values are like. I would assume that it's like, I mean, my first assumption would be like the lock is released when this is like out of scope, right? What it's like, it's sort of like a temporary value, so it should be like out of scope immediately, right? Like it's not. That's what my assumption is. That's what's happening, right? Like that it's never getting to the next iteration of the loop because of deadlock. Well, maybe we'll print some stuff here. I don't know how anything fucking works, man. I'm a fucking plebeian. We're just having some fun. Having a little bit of fun. Try again. Oh, I think, you know, if I'm counting follows correctly on my little monitor here, I think we'll probably hit affiliate off of this, so we can have channel points and actually wire this stuff up to something interesting. So this is timely. I think we will make good use out of the Twitch fancy features. I think we're in the market for those. Let's see. Is this all fucked up again? Well, it's running at least. Oh, it should already be running. It doesn't print anything. Okay, toggle spin and toggle spin. Yeah, so now we were deadlocked. That's fun. If this machine was fast, I would test what happens without these here, but I'm not going to because it's slow and I don't want to make everyone wait. So then we can toggle zoom wave as well. We should be able to toggle them both at a time also. We can. That's even fancier. That's some real fancy shit. Okay, so now the moment of truth. The moment of fucking truth. Truth. Real effy there. Get some spit in the word. Okay, this should now work. Let's see. Let's see if we can do it. I'm really excited. I don't know about you, but I am hyped the fuck up. Okay, there we are. We're spinning. We're in spinning mode. And okay, if we toggle spinning mode, this is the moment we've been waiting for. Yes, we no longer spin. We can turn spin back on, turn spin off, turn spin back on. Oh, did the stream crash? What the fuck is up? Crash, crash, crash. Oh, you mean you're threatening me with my machine crashing? Maybe. I don't know. I would love the context, because I'm like, my stream crashed last stream and I was like, I didn't even notice. I just kept talking until Digby let me know, and I was like, oh fuck. Need to get a better handle on that. Let me check, just to be sure. Are we all fucked up? Oh, I'm good. Nice, nice. 66666. Cool. Cool. Yeah. Man, this stream really is making you old. We're like 3 hours deep. We're going longer. I don't even care. Okay, so now if we turn the spinning off, we disable spin, and we turn on, what's the other thing? We turn on zoom wave. Now we're zooming. Hell yeah. We're zooming. Okay, and you know what that means. You know, now that we can control these things from this place, it means we can control them from chat because of the thing we built earlier. So what that means is, if we go back to over here, we can very easily say, when S contains, I don't know, what do we say? What does S need to contain? Spin. Spinny. Text. Then we toggle the spin. Hey, Digby. Just got in from work. Figured you'd come in and check. Yeah, things are going pretty well. We're taking a break today. We're building Twitch integration. As you can see from the new chat that your message just popped up in, I built a Twitch chat bot, and now it can interact with Twitch chat in a variety of ways. So this is running now. So now if we go to chat and we do !spinny, we start spinning. That is fucking sick, gentlemen. That is, and ladies, that is what you would describe as ill in if you were a 90s skateboarding personality or something like this. I don't even fucking know. And saying it again toggles it right back off and right back on again. It all works. It's cool. And you can also do, oh, we don't have a command for the other one yet. Let's make that occur. Let's make a command for seasick, and that's going to be zoom wave. Now you can type sick. Now we zoom in and out alongside spinning. Tony Hawk still lives and still skates for a living. The world is too weird. Yeah, I think he's still around. Like isn't he like kind of cool? Like he does like, I don't know anything about these people. I live in a cave. I poke little squares with things written on them all day. I don't know anything. But I've heard he's like kind of cool. I think if I recall correctly, like I remember I knew, like, doesn't he like follows lots of people on Twitter or something, like everybody? Something like that. I don't know. Seems like a cool guy. Be cool to be a pro athlete like that in a cool sport. But yeah, so we built some sick ass toggles. I'm liking this. Yeah, never heard anything bad about him. That's the way to be. Gotta just be vibing out there on the mean streets. Mean streets are kind of a fixture of the LLLL Colonq channel. We're trying to stay off the mean streets here. Stay in the nice computer, in the nice room. The neat lifestyle. I don't know. I'm just so happy with this. I'm happy we managed to successfully get all this wired up, like basically without too many issues, right? Like we decided to do this like an hour ago, and now it's like we have working chat commands. Yeah, Tally needing to resist. Oh, neofetch. Are we neofetching here? I don't have neo. I think I have just normal screen fetch. Where's the screen fetch? It takes a minute. Neofetch prints the thing incorrectly in eShell to preempt the question of why I'm not using neofetch. But yeah, here we are. Beautiful NixOS. That's them's the breaks. And the shell is Emacs, and the window manager is also Emacs because we like Emacs. Yeah, giving chat access to my terminal. Yeah, that probably would be a bad idea. I would go so far to say that would be a fucking horrid idea. That's probably in terms of I don't know, ideas. That's well, maybe not the worst possible. We could have a VM, and as long as like chat doesn't find and execute a VM escape, actually that's fucking sick. Let's do that. That's totally. I was wondering like, okay, like how can we meaningfully integrate chat into the programming process? NixOS, yep. NixOS is a cool. Let's is it just nixos.org? Yeah. Not on this machine, but we're getting a new machine. I've started putting plans into place in order to get a new device. I could definitely run like Kimu, just like running like a super minimal Linux, like with like headless. But yeah, NixOS is a Linux distro where you it is purely functional. So like packages kind of get built in isolation with like references to other packages based on like their hash. So like it basically makes the system extremely robust in the sense that like it's very hard to break things by like kludging over the dependencies for something, because like you can't really like change, you never really change the dependencies. There's just like a big nest of symlinks of things to like what they depend on. Of course, it's also super space intensive, which is kind of the downside, right? Like you might end up in situations where you like, I don't know, like you have like 20 versions of like a common library, but like, I don't know, it's kind of like, it's good. It's like reinventing static linking on top of dynamic linking is how I've heard it described at one point. But it's nice. The packages, there's lots of packages for everything, and I'm like used to it at this point. But yeah, sudo rm-rf redeem. That sounds awesome. I want to do this. So what maybe I'll do is up here in the area I've just made blank, we will have a little mini VM. And that VM will have something like hooked up to like read the state of that VM, but then otherwise chat will have unregulated access to the VM. The VM probably will not be internet connected, and we'll probably have to have like some kind of filter on it in order to prevent like it from filling up with like various things that like, I don't know, just nastiness, like mean shit, you know? But like we could totally have an environment where like chat can just be like controlling this VM at will without like deleterious effects to the rest of my system. So I'm thinking that's on the docket. That's Twitch plays Linux. It's time. Twitch installs Gentoo. I don't know. I don't know. Twitch could install Twitch could definitely install Arch, right? Twitch installs Arch. We're gonna make it happen. That would be sick. I want this. You're trying to escape now, Tally. I know. You're trying to figure out what the. I'm glad we've discovered this this problem, and I'm gonna have to go fix some of the command stuff. Sudo apt install Gentoo. Yeah, that's how you do it, right? That's I actually have a fun Gentoo story. I was I don't know. My Linux distro journey roughly proceeds as I think I started using Ubuntu when I was like in middle school-ish. get some Rust going on. The are you asking ChatGPT for Rust? But I started using Ubuntu for a while. And then when I was maybe 15, I switched to Arch. And used Arch up until the end of my first year in college. And right before my exams at the end of my first year in college, I decided like, hey, Arch, I'm getting irritated with Arch. I'm installing Gentoo because I want my system to be fast. I want to compile all my software. I only run free software anyway. I want to get into building my own kernel. I want like all this shit, right? So I decided it would be a great idea to install Gentoo one evening, just like right before like my exams. I need my laptop for my exams. Needless to say, like I was like, I don't know, I've been using Linux for like a long time, and I was like, oh, I know how to do shit. I can do this. It turned out to be a total clusterfuck, and I really did not know how to compile the kernel, or how to find settings that would make the kernel work, and like work in a way such that I could like have a browser and stuff. But I pulled through. I pulled an all-nighter that night. I got Gentoo installed to the point where I could like run Wine and run like a browser and like the shit I needed for my college courses. I pulled through, got there, everything worked, and then I used Gentoo for like the next like 5 years, and until I switched to NixOS. So yeah, it was great. It all paid off, but it was some of the most heart-pounding white knuckle Linux use I've ever had when I was just desperately trying to like fucking make Firefox go the night before I would need it for exams. But yeah, fond memories indeed. Gentoo's fun though. Gentoo's they just like, I don't know, I feel like they just have their like a lot of I'm not really exposed to that ecosystem anymore just because I'm like so in the Nix zone. But let you out of the text box. Okay, you're coming out of the text box. You're going to the other text box. You've noticed that it just stops printing. It doesn't print the way I wrote a parser. I mean, Twitch uses IRC on the backend, and IRC like colons are a meaningful character to like separate things. And I'm clearly parsing colons incorrectly because it's not showing colons in messages at all in the chat box, which is quite funny. Yeah. What should we do now? What's on the docket? Maybe I should. We've been going for 3.5 hours. Alto says, in my case, my parents dual booted Ubuntu. I couldn't get my 3 shovelware games I played to work. I spent all my time on Windows. A few years later, I had some blank DVDs and a spare laptop. Tried a bunch of distros and liked Fedora KDE the most. Why Nix? Can you describe it in one sentence? So in Nix, so normally in Linux, right? Well, I can't really describe it in one sentence, right? Or maybe the one sentence reason is I want to be able to reinstall my system identically from a single file. The slightly longer justification is, right? Normally on Linux, when you install things, they're kind of like mutating the state of your system, right? You install a program, it's going to user bin, right, or whatever, right? Like your configuration files are strewn around etc and maybe var local. And the system is changing state as you install things, right? And sometimes things can interfere with each other as you install them, right? Like things might want to like be in the same directory, or like the old configuration file might be wonky and like the new program reads from the old file and has slightly different semantics or something like this. In Nix, instead of installing things to like user bin, they're all installed to a directory, a global directory. It's like /nix/store, and there's always a hash in the path, right? Like if I go to like, let me like, I don't know, ls/nix/store grep, I don't know, what's a program? Firefox. So there's all of these directories that have the string Firefox in them generally, that like are like Nix kind of things that I've installed that are relevant to Firefox. And in some of these directories, like this one looks like an actual version of Firefox. And I have a little extension to like shorten these so I can actually read them. Is the actual binary for Firefox, right? And if we LDD that, right, that points, the dynamic libraries for that point to yet more things in the Nix store, right? So I can install as many versions of Firefox as I want, right? And they'll never collide with each other, right? And the same kind of configuration files are handled in the same way, right? So like I can just like take, I have a single file, or I guess a collection of files, but like a single little Git repository of plain text human readable files that describes my whole system, right? Like here's, I mean, this flake.nix describes everything I need to build this system exactly. And it's like byte for byte reproducible, right? I could build this on another machine and copy it to this machine and it will be the exact same bytes. I don't know, I just find that really cool. I've been burned too many times in the past about like, well, I'm setting up a server and then I need to make a change to the server because like some configuration doesn't work. I edit some config file somewhere, and 5 years later or 2 years later, I go to upgrade the server because something broke, and then I forget about that config file change. It's just a mess, right? Like you're constantly like accumulating this sort of like cruft of updates, and I like to be able to like this reins it all in a lot. Beryl, welcome Beryl, and what's in the box? Well, Tally asked to be out of the box. He's been trying to find a way to escape our new. We built this kind of chat interface this stream. It has some flaws, but it has some features too. You can do things like we're currently spinning, and we can say things like this, and we can no longer spin. As soon as we have channel points, we'll make that something a little more inaccessible. But yeah, actual AI in the box, but with Tally. Yeah. So what we actually need to do is we need to like. Twitch chats are all public, right? Those are just scraped. So we need to just scrape all of Tally's Twitch chats and then train some large language model to imitate Tally. And we'll have a constant feed of Tally Chovy chats in the box, in the second box. We'll make an identical chat box that's like you otherwise cannot tell apart from the actual chat. And we'll do that. Don't look at my chat history. Are you getting sussy up there? Doing some sus business. Yeah. Yeah. That is exactly the hell that I am sick of. I'm like, yeah. I'm not doing that anymore. Yeah. Flatpak is basically Nix, except sort of a little more ad hoc with like less sharing, right? Like the Flatpak is always gonna like save all the dependencies, whereas Nix will like if you do have a common dependency between things, it'll be like it won't be duplicated. Beryl says, are you going to Turing test people with the AI versus the VTuber? Yeah, of course, right? I mean, it's a constant Turing test just to watch the stream, right? Like I mean, this stream is already a test of your ability to I don't know, remain cogent under distress. And we could develop that even more so. We're really exploring what it means to program under extreme mental and physical duress. That's kind of the theme of the LLLL Colonq channel. We need to scrape Tally Chovy. Yeah, I'm sure you would not appreciate that. That sounds painful and unpleasant. See the rat. Who is Knight 522? I want their emotes. This is someone I should know. This is a cool person. I like cool people. I'm a VTuber fan. LLLL Colonq is interested in cool individuals. Why did our width get so fucked up? I don't know. We're just chatting it out. I think it's already L8. And, I think it's gonna be time to call it and raid somebody soon. Night Chase. Okay. Cool. He's an oomphy. Nice. Love the oomphies. Enjoyer. Oomphy enjoyer. Let's It's basically my biography. Oh, let's look for somebody. That's fine. I think we've had fun today. Late for you, but I just got home. Yeah, I apologies, or I don't know. Do you have just a? Are you in a? Well, I guess I don't want to ask, but yeah. My impression is that at least your lore is that your work schedule is pretty crazy. I can commiserate with that. Donkey for the Streamitson. Cool. Let's see who is online. Is anyone cool online? Who should we raid? Who's available for raiding? Yeah, Night Owl mode. Yeah, I feel ya. Do we have anybody interesting? Who is around? 3 of me is around. Let's do that. Let's fire it off. Let me get my. Open that up. Yeah, there's the coding population. There actually are a surprising number of like YouTubers. I mean, the anime to computer science pipeline is pretty wide, right? There's quite a lot of people doing technical stuff. Like I was watching Soy Milk. It was like a mid-sized indie studying for an operating systems exam earlier today, which was pretty cool. There's lots of people. Let's see. Who do we have here? Yeah, the programming socks in full effect. I wear waist highs actually. We stream in like full on like what's the word, like long underwear. We're in like a ski outfit at the ski lodge. Okay, let's raid over to free. And yeah, I'll see you all around. Thanks for joining me on this journey to build some functionality. I think it might be similar next time as we have affiliate now, maybe, or we're close, and we can go from do some channel point stuff, do some polling stuff, do some gambage. Might be fun. So yeah, thanks for coming around, and it was a good old time. Let's see if we can click the button. I always struggle to actually click the buttons correctly and not like fail. Let's try it. Start raid. We clicked it. We clicked it. We clicked it. Hell yeah. Ready to raid. I have to wait seconds, apparently. Raid now. There we go. Bye.